Hello everyone! Today we'll discuss a very basic but super important topic, which is formulas. Formulas are extensively used in three different areas of Salesforce. First is on formula fields, obviously. Second one, workflow and validation rule calculations. And third one is on Visualforce pages. In order for us just to understand how formulas work, how you can get started, we'll look at the most basic application of formulas, which is on formula fields. Let's get started.
New field on the account, and I look for formula. Here it says a formula field is a read-only field. It derives its value from a certain expression, and this is what we're going to be looking at. How do you create these expressions? And this field is automatically update when any of the source fields change. So if the field I create is based on the last modified date field, or if it's based on the name of the account, it automatically changes. You don't have to tell it to update. And our formula field can display different types of values. It can be either a checkbox or currency or a date, time, number, percent, text, time. This time field has just been released a couple of months ago. The one I'll use is the checkbox. The formula field will check if a certain field has any decimal places. Okay? Has decimal places. If you're a bit confused what I mean by that, just hold on a minute, give me 2 minutes, you'll see. In this window, I always suggest using the advanced formula window instead of the simple formula. The key things on this page is this button. Which field would you like to use? And then once you have that field, what would you like to do with it? Would you like to add it to some other with another value? Would you like to compare it with some value? Would you like to divide it, etc.? Yeah. And then you have some functions such as rounding, taking the right two values, getting the today's date, etc. There are a lot of functions. I've only used a couple of them, like hyperlink. If it's blank I probably need to explore and see how I can make use of the other ones as well. Okay, so you got 1, 2, 3, and the fourth important thing is the check syntax. Once you've built your formula, always press this button just as a sanity check to make sure that your formula makes sense. And then also make sure to enter a description. Although it might be clear what this formula does for you, you might move on to a different project, or many years later you might retire, and someone might be a bit confused what this formula does, and a bit of description will demystify everything. Alright, so back to what we came here for. We want to create a formula field which will check if a certain field has any decimal places. Okay, purchase price field. Here we go. I want to check if this field has any decimal places. Okay, and then the function I'm trying to get is the round. Insert it here, and this is the. So I will round this field to, we can even say 1 decimal place. So this field, price field, on the account object, it displays the price of the house I bought, and it's a currency field. Doesn't allow any decimal places. You can see, right? It says no decimal places allowed. Check this. If I put 10,000 times 1, 2, 3, it will cut off the end. Okay, but that's what you think. Although it says no decimal place allowed, that's not always the case, and I will show you how. Alright, let's check syntax. All good here. Alright, let's make this field visible only to the system admin, and let's add it to both page layouts on the account object. I click save. Okay, all right. has decimal places. Okay, here's the field, has decimal places. As you can see, it's read only because it has a lock on it, and also because you cannot click on it. So let's say we bought a house for 10,000. Okay, this formula field is showing that purchase price field has no decimal places, which is accurate, and I can verify that through the developer console. So I'm looking for the ID, name, and the price on the account object, where the name of the account is Maryland, which is what we got right here. Okay, we see 10,000. Okay, but look at this. I can put 10,000.123, click save. Okay, it's saved. So the new value of this field is 10,000.123. Now it has decimal places. Okay, let me close this, and just to verify for you, look at it. It has 1, 2, 3. But if I go to UI and refresh the record, it only shows 10,000. It does not display the 1.123 unless I double click on it. Okay, but if you have a lot of accounts, you don't have time to go in and double click everything. So that's why this formula field is very good. You can create this formula field, has decimal places, create a report, and filter on this field. Only show me fields that have decimal places. Right? Very convenient. Another cool formula field is displaying all Google News related to the account name. Wouldn't that impress your sales managers in case they work with large accounts who are in the news? And it'll be convenient for them as conversation starters. So formula, which is formula right here. Next, and we'll do text. Google News. Next. Okay, here's how we do it. We take a function called hyperlink. I can just put an H, hyperlink, and you can see it creates a hyperlink. You put in a URL here, the name it will be displayed as, and the field that will be used. Okay, the URL is Google News. All right. Let's click next. Again, since I'm just testing this, seeing if it works for now, let's have it only display for the system admin. Once we know it works well, we can display it for other users. Okay, let's go to our account, Maryland. Let's refresh the page. Google News. Wow, magic, right? All Google News related to this account. A lot of news about basketball. You don't have to be a genius to know that these formula types exist. There are a couple of easy ways to know that they do. Like, I didn't know that this Google News formula was there. I just looked it up, and you can do the same. Couple of things you should know just to know what is out there, what can the formula fields do. Use this formula cheat sheet, just sums up everything I told you about the operators, functions, okay, and explains them very succinctly on just 2 pages. Okay, the next important document is examples of advanced formula fields. So if basically you can summarize, break down your accounts by region. Everything in the west part of the US will have a formula displaying west, in the central, etc. Very convenient for reporting purposes. Here you go: BBC News, Bloomberg News, CNN News, Google News, etc. A lot of great stuff over a lot of pages. No time to go through them, but just a lot of material for inspiration. Okay, and the third thing, if this stuff is not helping you, the third thing you have to do is type in Salesforce formula beer. The #1 expert on formulas is Steve Mollis. Steve Mollis. He has a group called You Owe Me Beer. You Owe Me Beer. Okay, you go to this group. It's all about formulas. This is one of the most popular chatter groups on Salesforce. It's been out there for many years. Most generously, Steve is answering all the questions that come his way. I don't know how he does it, how he finds the time. He's a professional, but he's just so kind. And a lot of people have been asking him questions. Look, this group has over 3,000 members. Steve helps, other people help, but a lot of times Steve does. And he's really great. And all he asks is that next time you see him, you buy him a beer. Alright, thank you so much for your attention.